So, shout out to YouTube and everybody that's brave enough to share their life on YouTube. I have recently decided that me, Crystal, if you guys don't know, some of you do, some of you don't. Some also call me KB, which is why my channel will be called KayB'sWay, because I am pretty much gonna get on here and share my life to you guys my way. And of course, this wouldn't be right without story times, because I have plenty of those. My first video to you guys is actually going to be a story time video. I want to start off fun, a little excited. It's not really fun, but it's kind of crazy, fun kind of story. So I'm going to be telling you guys about the time I was chased home by a drunk driver. So just to give you guys a little background, this particular night we were all hanging out with a friend whose boyfriend, I believe, was celebrating his birthday. That could be wrong, but I'm kind of feeling like that's true. So we were all hanging out at his house and we carpooled to a club. You know, we had a drink, or like at the house we had like a drink and we were partying. Then we took it downtown. We didn't really make it into the club, so our night wasn't that long. I want to say we went out to eat. I want to say we did end up going out to eat that night as well. So maybe around 1 or 2 o'clock. No, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. I'm trying to get us. This is, mind you, pause. This happened like 4 or 5 years ago. But, I mean, it still happened. So it's still relevant. So, yeah. So I want to say maybe 2 or 3. I headed back to my friend's boyfriend's house to pick up my car. Now, as I'm driving home, it's this one road that you take just to get to where I lived at the time, which it wasn't my house, it was my aunt's house. So you take this one road, and for a while it's only a two-way street, right? So I passed the intersection where this gas station is, and if I'm not mistaken, that's when I noticed this car was driving really close behind me. I'm like, okay, that's strange, because I wasn't drunk, so I was fully aware of everything that was going on. And I'm like, why is this car riding my ass? That is so weird. Like, I'm going 40 miles per hour, because anytime the speed limit is 35, I'm definitely going 40. That's just the type of driver I am. So I'm like, you know, like, there's not much faster I can go. It's only a two-way street. Either you coming up or you coming down, so there's no way for us to like really switch lanes or whatever. So I'm like, great, this is perfect. I'm tired. I need to just go home and get in the bed. Like, it's just a lot going on or whatever. So eventually it did come to a four-way street, but it was maybe a couple miles up. So this whole time this car is in my butt. So I'm like, all right, as soon as I come to this four-way street, I'm gonna switch lanes so this car can just get over and this can all be over with, because obviously I'm driving too slow. So as soon as we come up to the four-way street, I got over, just like I said I would, because I wanted him to pass me and like just get away from me, because it's late. I mean, who knows, maybe this person was drunk or whatever. I don't know. Like, I mean, I just want to be safe and get home in one piece. So as I switched lanes, the car switched lanes with me. I'm like, what? Why would this car switch lanes with me when obviously I'm driving way too slow? He was riding my butt the whole time. So I'm like, that's weird. Let me try that again. So I go ahead and I switch lanes again. So basically when I first switched, I moved to the right. So this second time I switched back to the left lane. As soon as I switched over to the left lane, he switched over too. So I'm like, what? Yo, this has to be like some type of sick joke. This has to be somebody I know playing an absolute sick joke on me or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I switched lanes one more time just to make sure that I wasn't crazy. Like, I'm just gonna double check to make sure that I'm not crazy. So let me do that one more time. So I switched lanes again. The car switched lanes with me again. I'm like, yo, this is the craziest I ever seen in my life. Like, there's no way this is real life. So as that was happening, I thought that was strange enough, but I knew that there was a 45 okay, so the speed limit was 35. I knew once I passed the gas station going to my house that it was gonna turn to a 45 miles per hour speed limit. So I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna speed up and lose this person. Now while I'm processing all of this in my head, I'm like, let me call my aunt because I'm really freaking scared. Now usually she would be in the bed. By the grace of God, she answered the phone. I'm like, yo, the craziest thing just happened to me. This person is switching lanes with me. I'm gonna try to speed up and I'm gonna try to lose this person. She's like, okay, maybe you should go to the police station. I'm like, I don't know where the police station is. Like, I wasn't familiar with her neighborhood. Like, I know how to get there and get out, but as far as like knowing the ins and outs of the city, I didn't know. So I'm like, no, auntie, like, I don't know where the police station is. Like, maybe I could try to lose him in the development because our development was coming up. And she's like, well, yeah, well, just come home and then pull into the garage because that way we could shut him out. Like, because, you know, she has an automatic garage opener, so if I pulled in and we just shut the door, we could call the police and, you know, it'll all be handled. So she's like, well, before you come home, try to lose him. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's a good idea because whoever this psychopath is, I don't want them to know where I'm living. And so as I'm driving, I'm just switching lane. I'm turning corners. I'm going around. This car didn't miss a beat. This car was on my butt the entire time. This car was not playing no games. I'm like, yo, somebody is out to get me. Mind you, I'm still on the phone with my aunt and I'm telling her like, auntie, I can't lose him. Is something going on? Like, this is so crazy. Maybe you should wake up Uncle Stan because I don't know what's going on. And I can hear my aunt running through the house. She's trying to go wake up my uncle. Like, you need to wake up. Somebody is following Crystal home. She doesn't know who it is. She's scared. Blah 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 blah. And so I'm like, well, where's I won't say no names, but my cousin's husband was there. He's like a big military dude, so he's like a superhero to me. Like, when I think of military, I think of superheroes. So he was a superhero to me. So I'm like, where's someone to wake him up, you know, because he would know, like, he's gonna know more than anybody how to handle this situation. So she's like, yeah, let me wake him up. So she's waking him up, like, you need to get up. Somebody's following Crystal home. She's in trouble, blah blah blah. So my aunt's like, okay, everybody's up. You need to just come home. You need to just pull in the driveway, and so we can get you in the house safely. So I'm like, cool, okay, I'm coming. Like, I'm freaking out. So I'm on my way home. As soon as I get on my street, I sped up even faster just to try to lose him one more time. Well, that didn't work because he pulled in right behind me in my aunt's driveway. My aunt had a driveway full of cars because, once again, my cousins from Atlanta were up. So he pulled in right along with everybody else's car. So at this point, my aunt and my cousins were in the garage and they were like, did this dude really just pull into the garage, into the driveway? And I'm like, mind you, I'm still on the phone. I've not hung up with my aunt yet because I'm not hanging up until I'm safe in her arms at this point. So I'm still on the phone with her. So as the guy is pulling up behind me, my cousin's husband jumps in between. See, this that superhero stuff I'm telling you about. He jumps behind my car and in front of the other car. So he's like right here. He's right here in the middle. So he's trying to, like, tell the dude, like, hey, we don't want no problems. Like, we don't know you. Like, I think you lost. Like, you need to, you know, get yourself together because she doesn't know you. Like, we don't want any problems. So while he's talking, the guy, like, turns his radio up, like, sky high. Like, all I remember is, like, hearing some old 90s, sound like pop or Biggie music. Like, I'm a huge 90s fan. Like, it definitely was 90s music, right? And so as my cousin's husband is trying to get me out the car, I'm so nervous, I slam my purse into the car door, right? Perfect. So I'm like, what? My purse is stuck, and he's like pulling on me, and I finally am like able to get my purse out the car door. And as I'm coming, I ended up having to go in between the cars too. So I look into the guy's car and I see that he's this big black guy, and he had on Cartier glasses. Now, so I'm like, who is this from Detroit? Like, he was in this old school BMW, he was listening to old 90s music. Like, who is this person? Like, I don't know who this is. So mind you, that's all going through my head. I'm not saying any of this out loud. I'm pretty much scared to death. So I'm trying to run into the house. So at this point, they all, like, my cousin's husband still has his hands out, like, we don't want no problems. He's like telling my aunt to close the garage. Like, basically, I think everybody was pretty much in shock. Like, we had no idea what was going on. So finally, my aunt gets the garage door closed. I run upstairs. At this point, I'm like pretty much ready to climb up under the bed because I'm like, whoever this is freaking nuts. Like, I don't want any problems. So after that, moments later, I hear a boom, 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 boom on my auntie's door. I'm like, you have to be freaking kidding me. There is no freaking way this person is knocking on my aunt's door. Not only is he in her driveway, now he's like in her house, because her house is attached to her garage, and the only way he got in there is the side door. So here's her garage, here's her side door. Usually it's locked. I guess it wasn't this time. So he comes through the side door and he's banging on the door. My heart pretty much exploded out of my chest. I'm like, oh my God, somebody is really out to get me. Like, this guy must be trying to kill me or something. Like, this literally makes no sense. So anyway, I wasn't down there to see what happened next. I pretty much ran upstairs and let the grown-ups handle it. All I heard was my aunt saying, mind you, I was grown, but they were much growner, and I was scared to death. So fast forward. So what I do hear is my aunt say,
we don't know who you are, but we just called the police and they're gonna be here any minute. So if you don't want any problems, I suggest you get out of here.
So I'm looking out the window like, what is this guy gonna do? Like, is he crazy? Like, what is gonna happen? So when my aunt said that, like seconds later, I see the guy like skirt out the driveway backwards, and he kind of cuts her front grass. Like he's trying to get out so fast, like he skirts across like the front part of her grass. And then we hear police sirens or whatever. So my uncle, who we told to wake up the first time, like he's the first person,
he was just now getting himself together. You know, from what I hear, he was in his tidy whitey trying to get himself together.
So he had finally got himself together, and he's like, oh no, I'm going out there. I need to get a good look at this guy. I need to find out what that was about and blah, blah, blah. My aunt's like, you don't need to do that. You know, like, the police has him. He's like, no. I need to see what's up, and I want to talk to him if I can. So I'm like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do all of that, you know, because whoever this is, he must think that, you know, I ride solo dolo. I'm talking mad shit in my head. I never said none of this out loud. So anyway, so my uncle, he goes down and he like talks to the police or whatever, and they're telling him that the police are telling my uncle that the guy is pretty much inebriated. He puked all in the back of their car. He's really drunk, and if I feel more comfortable, I could come back in the morning to file out a police report or whatever. So I'm like, cool, I'll just do that, because I really want to understand what that was all about. So the next morning we go to the police station. My aunt and my uncle is with me, because everybody at this point is very interested to see who this guy is and what he wanted from me. Like, who are you? Like, what do you want? And so while we were back there, the police like, so what happened? How did this all happen? I'm like, telling them like, nothing. I was out with my peoples. I came home, and on my way home, this guy out of nowhere just starts following me, and I have no idea who he is or what the heck is going on. And she's like, okay, well, basically what he said is he thought you were like a family member of his, like his aunt trying to show him a new house out here. And I was like, nope, that ain't right. Nope, that's not almost right. Because as he was banging on the door, from what my aunt and my cousins told me, he kept saying, let me in, I just want to see her, I just want to talk to her. No. I'm like, maybe if he thought I was like an ex-girlfriend and he was like a crazy ex-boyfriend, that story would have been more believable. But an aunt showing him a new house, nah, wrong, that's a lie. I was like, so at this point, how do I feel safe? Like, where is he? Like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, well, we arrested him because he had a warrant out for his arrest for having a concealed weapon. And I'm like, great. So he had a weapon on him. And she's like, no, he didn't have it on him, but he had a previous warrant for that. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank God for that, because so many things could have went left. And so anyway, so she's like, well, we normally don't do this, but I'll let you see his mugshot just so you can get a better idea of who this guy is. Like, maybe you recognize him, maybe you know him from somewhere. And I'm like, okay. So I look at this guy. Nothing. I don't know him. I've never seen him. He looks to be 15 years older than me. I mean, even though I hang out a lot, like, I mean, his face and he was just so, like, this is not somebody I would have forgot seeing. So I don't know, maybe he really was so drunk that he thought I was somebody else, or I reminded him of somebody else. Because the only thing I can think of is when I passed the gas station, it was so well lit up, maybe he could see me in the car and he thought I was somebody else because he was so drunk. Like, maybe that's what it was. And so they were like, well, we don't know, but what you can do is fill out a report, and then we'll have patrol the house, let us know what cars are in the driveway, let us know you know, what cars we should look for as being normal, and then if we see any unusual cars or things like that happening, we'll let you guys know. So that was that. Nothing happened. I did see the police patrolling the house, which was great. Like, I felt really safe knowing that they were doing that. Like, nobody knew really what none of this was about, other than the fact that this guy was drunk and he thought I was somebody I wasn't. Like, that's pretty much it. So, but the moral of the story was, I was chased home by a crazy person that was drunk. So don't drink and drive. Like, don't do it. Like, you caused so much chaos and so many problems. You scared the living daylights out of me. From this point on, every time it gets dark outside or somebody is driving too close to my car, I'm constantly like, who is that? Where they going? What they want? Because I don't know them. Yeah, I'm super paranoid, and but I guess it's always good to keep your guard up, especially being a girl and being out late at night by yourself. It can be pretty dangerous out here. So there you have it. That is the time I was chased home by a drunk driver who wanted to see me and wanted to talk to me, but had no idea who I was. So anyway, I'm glad to be sitting here telling you the story because it was absolutely crazy.
Right back at ya.